hospital with multiple puncture wounds, fighting for his life. Why? And I will tell you why. Because that man wrote a book. That man wrote a book 34 years ago. That man wrote this book 34 years ago. And the man that tried to kill this man was not even born when this book was written, was not even alive, was not even a twinkle in the eye of his mother and father. But this man took it upon himself to get a ticket to a speaking event, to produce fake ID, to arrive at this event 24 hours earlier, and to rush onto the stage and to try and murder the person that wrote this piece of literature, 34 years ago. Well, funny you should say that, because of course if you read all of the mainstream media, we don't know what his mission was. We don't know why he attempted to murder this man. Pull the other one. Pull the other one. So what might you suggest his cause might have been?
I assume you have a reason. I don't know.
Oh, really? May I suggest you're being a little bit gullible and a little bit naive? We all know why Salman Rushdie's life was tried to be taken by a 24-year-old coward. A 24-year-old coward who took it upon himself to arrive at that venue and to attempt to murder this person. And he did that for reasons including the fact that the state of Iran has had a fatwa on this individual for 33 years. We do know that. We know there was a 3.3 million payment on that man's head. A $3.3 million payment on this man's head. We know people that have simply translated this book, people that have published this book, have been murdered, have been attacked in Japan, in Norway, in Italy, in Turkey, for simply translating this book, for publishing this book. Because, my friends, there are certain individuals across this planet who choose to be offended by the written word, who choose to be angry by a piece of fiction, by a book. People who want to burn this book, people who want to kill those who publish it. Bookshops that want to sell this book have been firebombed because there are idiots who have no skin. They have no backbone, and they are so pathetically offended. That might be another example. So I also want to talk about free speech, because that is the core issue here. Free speech is not something that we've won, that we can pocket, that we can bank. Free speech is something that we have to fight for and we have to defend continually. Especially today. Do you know what Salman Rushdie said in 2015? Salman Rushdie said, that's very funny. Salman Rushdie said in 2015 that we are living in dark times. He didn't say that when he was living under 24/7 special branch protection, when he was living in safe houses that the British special branch moved him from house to house 54 times within 3 months to save that man's life. Then Britain was looking after that man. Then Britain was fighting for free speech. We gave the man a knighthood for his literary ability. He's won Booker Prizes for his writing ability. But 2015, Salman Rushdie pointed out that we're living in dark times. And why he said that, because he knew, and that was a few months after the Charlie Hebdo incident, he knew the West, France, America, Britain, all of us, no longer seem to appreciate and fight for and defend free speech. Because now, as a society, we have given in to the bullies. We've given in to the religious fanatics who tried to murder Hatun in Speaker's Corner, who tried to murder Salman Rushdie in this speaking event in New York, and the livid liberals who tell us words are violence. We have to tell them, no, words are not violence. Violence is violence. It's because of idiots like these people in positions of control and positions of power are telling us words are violence that these religious fundamentalist fanatics are doing what they're doing today. I remember during the BLM, the Black Lives Matter protest, I saw placards and people shouting, silence is violence. Again, no, silence is not violence. Words are not violence. If you are offended for one reason only, and that is because you, as a grown adult, choose to be offended. If you're offended, walk away. If you don't like it, walk away. If you don't like the book, don't buy it. If you don't like the TV program, don't watch it. I think you get my point. You have no right to be offended. As a judge said in a very famous legal case in this country, without the right to offend, without the right to ridicule, free speech does not exist. So therefore, I've been going to Speaker's Corner for a very, very long time because I dearly believe that freedom of speech is our most important freedom. And my goodness, it's starting to slip away. And we must not allow these fundamentalist, ideological extremists to silence us. They, as I say, and I will say it again, they tried to do it at Speaker's Corner. Hatoun, who's over there now. There was an attempted murder on Hatoun's life. A woman standing here now, a 5'2" woman, ex-Muslim, immigrant from Turkey, who an idiot tried to stab and kill here at Speaker's Corner. And why? Because he didn't like her t-shirt. You simply could not make it up. We are in 2022. We are in the 21st century. We don't want your barbarism here. If you get so upset by a lady's t-shirt, what is your problem? Grow up! You are standing now, all of you here, are standing here in Speaker's Corner, the jewel in this country's free speech. And yet they come here and try and bully and intimidate us into silence. I don't care about your sensitivities. This is the home of free speech, the jewel in our crown. Precisely. And we're not going to give it up lightly. We are not going to give it up lightly. So go away with your knives, with your spittle, with your fists, with your feet kicking people off of ladders, all of which has happened. Go away. There are signs at the entrance to this place explaining free speech, explaining heckling, explaining the history of this place. And yet these numpties still come here and think they can bully, intimidate what people say and what they don't say. We must never, ever stand for it. This isn't about agreeing what Hatoun says or does. This isn't agreeing about the Salman Rushdie book. This is about the right for free speech. It's a slippery, slippery slope when we get to the point where we say, oh, well, better not say that because that'll offend that community over there. Better not put that on your t-shirt because Ali over there may be offended. No, never. I could say never surrender, but that would be a bit corny, wouldn't it? I was thinking Mr. Dawa. John the Revert, then. John the Revert, because they are often the worst. So these are fundamentalist extremists who try to control the narrative here, they try to control the narrative in New York. The end. Now, I was going to read from the book, but I think I may have... look! Typical white middle-class liberal. He physically quaked in his boots when I said I might get the book out and read it. This is 91, but will it be the same pages? Just the blurb. Why is the blurb okay, but not the... What do you mean leave it? Do you know, can I just point out? The Edinburgh Book Festival, which is about to start. Look at all the flashing what do you call it, clips of the photographs. The Edinburgh Book Festival, which is about to start, they've just put out a fantastic statement where they're encouraging every writer at the Edinburgh Book Festival to read a sentence from this book.
I choose a page at random.
Good on them, good on them. J.K. Rowling tweeted yesterday in support of Salman Rushdie. Within minutes, there was a death threat on her. Within minutes. Precisely. Do you know what? This is a friend's copy. I didn't own this. Every bookshop in London has sold out of this book. Every bookshop. I spent hours yesterday phoning around. Sad life that I've got. Waterstones don't have it. They had it somewhere in Cornwall and somewhere up north somewhere, but not a single copy. All the independent bookshops, none of them had a copy of this.
238 to read it out loud.
So what was your page?
I say 238. I dare you.
91.
I double dare you.
Thing is, I've got my contact lenses in, and it's quite small font. He's just a pussy, isn't he? He came up with an excuse so he couldn't read it.
Oh, this is the satanic verses.
From the top of the page, not from the bottom of the page, from the top of the page.
Come on, Steve, read us some satanic verses.
Isn't it ridiculous? Like, you know, the whir of... I'll read a few sentences of it, just for the cameras, just for the... I can't read, I've got to like... Quiet everybody, it's story time! Sorry, I do apologise I'm not in drag for this, because I know that's the latest thing, but if one is allowed to read a book to the children without wearing drag, I shall do so.
Stay on the satanic verse, Steve.
Jibreel, when he submits to the inevitable, when he slides heavy-lidded, what does that mean? Towards vision of his angling, passes his loving mother, who has a different name for him, Shaitan, she calls him. Just like Shaitan, same to same, because he has been fooling around with the tiffins to be carried into the city for the office workers' lunch. Mischievous imp, she slices the air with her hand. Rascal has been putting Muslim meat counterparts into Hindu non-veg tiffin carriers. Or you did choose a paragraph, didn't you? But then folds him in her arms, my little Farishta. Boys will be boys. And he falls past her into sleep. Is there a more...
Yeah, this is the same chapter. You can start maybe from...
He is gigantic.
I thought this was 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh.
Next week. Can I just say, for the cameras that are close, I am sweating, but that is because it's very hot. It's not through nerves of having a personal fatwa.
It's straight down, man. It's straight down.
If you start from...
Oh yeah, he
the
is.
part that-
He is. Can you do it?
Nice guy.
Steve, hold my ticking backpack for a minute.
Thank you. It is very hot today. So anyway, he is gigantic, wingless, standing with his feet upon the horizon and his arms around the sun. In the early dreams, he sees beginnings. Shaitan cast down from the sky, making a grab for a branch of the highest. Thing, the love tree of the uttermost, and that stands beneath the throne. Shaitan missing, plummeting. But he lived on. Am I going to hand over to you? So anyway, Jackanory. It's never going to be Jackanory. I know.
Come to this part. This is the part where...
I'll be honest, I don't think most Muslims have read this book.
I haven't read it.
I don't think they know what is in it.
We should have practiced this, wouldn't we?
With his
Salman
daughters
Rushdie, he rushed it.
You do it in a minute. So anyway, I'm going to step down, but I just want to say again, we must continually fight and defend free speech. We must never, ever give in to these violent thugs. We need to stand up for the people like Salman Rushdie, for people like Hatoun. It's not, as I said, about agreeing with them. It's not about agreeing with the content of what they say. What it is about is defending their free speech. Because if their free speech goes today, it will be ours going tomorrow. Thank you.
Steve, big up. Is that it? You're not gonna say anything else? Steve, is that the speech?
It is.
You sure?
Yeah.
Come on, man, say something else. About,
I could talk about lots of different things, but...
All right, I'll speak, but
go.
I'll slightly change the subject. I'll say something.
Grab the mic off stage.
Oh yeah, Steve. We'll have all the debates you guys want, but for now, we have to speak about something else that's important.
Annie, you need a better mic.
All right. So I would like to give congratulations to everybody here, because a war that is threatening the peace of the whole world is slowly but surely coming to an end. Every single success the Ukrainian army is having in this conflict is bringing us closer to world peace, and is bringing us closer to the collapse of the country that should never existed. A country that is so backward that nobody's trading with them anymore. Nobody wants to have any relations with them anymore. The country that's threatening nuclear war for sanctions. That country is, of course, Muscovy, also known as Russia, which is a name that they stole, that they reappropriated from the Kievan Rus, the origin of the country itself. Now, a few days ago, actually around a week ago at this point, there has been a town in Crimea that has been bombed by the Ukrainian troops. In that town, there was a specific part of that town that was bombed. It was an air base that was blown up by the Ukrainian HIMARS that have been provided to the Ukrainians by the West. And to that, I have to say, very well done, because that is the sign of what's to come in the future. The Russians have changed their tactics of this war. First, they wanted to do a big advance, like a blitzkrieg, with their armored vehicles, with the tanks, with the armored vehicles, with all of that. Now, they've changed their tune. They've started blowing up the settlements to level them with the ground, and then walk in with the troops. Now those rules and that tactic is backfiring, because the Russians need big depots of ammunition to store all the ammunition they need to level those cities to the ground, just like they did in Grozny in Chechnya, just like they did in Mariupol in Ukraine. They're trying to do the same thing to every single city that's resisting them. That is terror warfare. To be blowing up civilian targets, to be blowing up hospitals, to be blowing up kindergartens, that is called terror warfare, and it's a war crime. It's considered as a war crime, and it's unacceptable. But of course, what do the Russians say when they're confronted with this? They shout Nazi, they shout racist, they shout all of these buzzwords that have no proof. They have no proof to back up any of their claims, and that's the big difference. The Ukrainians have the satellite images. The Ukrainians have videos and footage and proof of the atrocities that the Russians have been doing in Ukraine. What do the Russians have? Blind accusations and conspiracy theories. For example, my personal favorite, the conspiracy theory about the anthrax-fueled bats that have been created in Ukrainian biolabs to be released on Russia and to attack specifically Russian genes, to destroy Russia from within through that anthrax. Of course, every single person who hears this knows that this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is like believing the earth is flat. That's the same level of insanity as believing that the Ukrainians are developing anthrax-fueled bats to release them on Russia. Well, of course, does that stop the people who want to believe in propaganda? No, it never stops them. If people want to believe in propaganda, they will believe in propaganda. And it doesn't matter how stupid, how silly, or how ridiculous it sounds. It doesn't matter at all, because whatever is said, as long as it agrees with their personal dogma, with the way they want to see the world, they will eat it up. That's exactly what's going on with the people who believe in the pro-Russian propaganda right now. What have you been informed about? That they are Nazis. The whole battalion? Well, look, that depends on what you mean. Have you been completely misinformed? No. There's some, yeah. Now, the Azov battalion was interrogated about this. I'm glad you actually asked about this. The Azov battalion has answered some media claims about far-right elements in their ranks. The spokespeople of the Azov battalion have answered that there are about from 10 to 20% of the Azov battalion that have such affiliations. This was back in 2014, when the war was still more or less in the beginning, in the early stages, you know what I mean? The Azov battalion had only 600 members when Mariupol was being besieged by the Russians. Basically, something like that. At this point, probably a lot less, because a lot of the Azov battalion members who were in Mariupol and who surrendered to the Russian troops were tortured and killed. And later on, the Russians claimed that it was the Ukrainians who blew up the place where they were. When they were all killed by the Russians, they were all tortured to death by the Russians, by the Russian troops. Of course, they will never say that. They will never admit to that. They said Bucha was an inside job, that the Ukrainians went there torturing their own people just to say the Russians did it. They're saying the Ukrainians are blowing up their own cities, their own settlements, their own bases. Of course, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? When you're at war with someone, the first thing you do is start blowing up your own peaceful settlements. Makes all the sense in the world, right? But of course, just because it doesn't make sense doesn't stop them from saying it. They say it specifically because it does make sense. Because as long as you throw some mud at the wall, some is bound to stick eventually. Some of that mud will stick. And that's exactly why we have to answer some of these allegations about far-right elements, about neo-Nazis, about all that. Let's speak about neo-Nazis on both sides. There is a small element of the Azov battalion that have such affiliations, as I admitted. But there are two neo-Nazi battalions on the Russian side. Two battalions. One of them, neo-Nazis, proper neo-Nazis, not communists. There's the Wagner group that uses basically, Third Reich symbolism. And there is the Sparta group that has a very funny symbol. It's one ass pointing this way and then another ass pointing the other way. So, it's a great way to mask them. It's a great way to mask them. The Sparta battalion, by the beginning of this war, had around 7,000 members. The Azov battalion, at its highest number, had about 3,000. So if we're talking about raw numbers of Nazis on each side, Russia has an overwhelming advantage of Nazis. And I know it's funny to say advantage, because it's actually a disadvantage to have such people on your side.
There you go.
Classic speaker's
Being
corner.
very rude. Excuse me, but I want to keep an eye on Latin.
Ah, that's fine. I might actually check it out too. Is she reading the satanic verses now?
Not yet.
Oh, she's over there. Never mind. Go on. The what? So let's engage with that a little bit. So when somebody asks you, are you a killer? I'll say no, I never killed anyone. I don't feel like I'm able to kill people. I don't feel any of that. But if I'm put in a specific situation where my life depends on it and the other guy is trying to kill me, I might end up killing the guy. You know what I mean? So there is some ability to kill. That means that there is some killer in me, as there is in every single person around us. The same thing works with the Ukrainian army. I said there's no Nazi battalions in Ukraine. There's no elements in Ukraine that are neo-Nazi, neo-Nazis. Does that mean that there's zero neo-Nazis in the whole army? Obviously, I can't say that, because there's there could be neo-Nazis here. There's certainly neo-Nazis in the UK. There's neo-Nazis everywhere. Well, I think saying good number is a big oversimplification. There's not a good number of neo-Nazis in Ukraine. There's an insignificant number. Which faction is that? Could it be the Pravý Sector faction? No, but which faction is that? What you probably mean is the Pravý Sector. Now look, I would apologize if I said something wrong, but I didn't say anything wrong. What I said is there's no consistent, no big far-right or neo-Nazi element in Ukraine. Does that mean there's zero Nazis in Ukraine? Of course not. There's Nazis in any country. There's Nazis in Israel, for God's sake. There's Nazis everywhere, to an extent. What I'm saying, and I repeat what I said, that there are no substantial elements. Even the Azov battalion, as I said before, is not a full-blown neo-Nazi battalion. There are some neo-Nazis there. There's a concentration of them. but it's not a full-blown Nazi battalion. You see what I mean? Hey, my phone is missing. Kidding. Love this guy. Big up Street Mike. See you later. Anyway, that's gonna be it for now. This guy's what?
Sorry, I thought. You know, like Georgian war. Canteen. It was like Ukraine right now, but
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are.
Are you contracted to do live streams for speakers going online?
Yep, because you're doing it.
Here with your own equipment and live streaming on bank system, I tell you, recent fame that you're engaged with curly things or whatever that thing is.
Sorry, man, I'm grown too big for this channel.
Can you confirm or deny that you are no longer with Speakers Online?
No, I confirm that I'm still with Speakers Corner Online. I just happen to be you're the one who's doing the videos for them today, so I don't need to.
Would you like to apologise for not live streaming?
Yeah, no, not at all. Not whatsoever. Never apologize. Learn from Donald Trump the best. Never apologize.
I'm only joking, I'm only winding him up. But he may be a double agent, I'm not sure.
Hope not hate. I'm available. My DM me. Hope not hate. Yeah, just you know, slip into my DMs. Man needs some money. man needs to get. Man them needs to get paid up in here. Everybody is. Okay, I'm gonna try and go and see if I can find. Yeah. Do you want? I've got a bottle in my bag. Do you want me? Unopened, yeah. No, I've got 2 bottles. Hold on.
No, I'm not doing nothing.
when they might be violent, there's a bit of hate speech, well, at the rest of the hate speech, find something to do, isn't it? Let's go back to the police station, have a cup of tea.
Why you are so obsessed, Lord Jesus Christ, eternal Son of God, established the world to make it right. Died on the cross for your sins and rose again. What is your religion? Why are you Muslim? I want to know. Why do you say that?
I look like a Muslim.
I don't know. How can you know what someone Muslim looks like? It is easier for women because they would wear hijab or something. But it is difficult for men to know.
Give me a book what you said I'm going to worship you.
Actually, before that, I wanted to read something. Is English your mother tongue?
Nah.
But your English is good. Let's see. So, would you be kind enough and then read this passage chapter for me and then tell me if you have any problem? Yeah, just a second.
Before that, can you give me just a book that people can memorize it, like the Quran? Can you see that's a miracle, like a book, huge, 600 pages, 114 verses, that people can memorize it, like me and like
How
you.
does that make it miracle? Sorry,
Alright.
give me your argument.
I
It
will
will
give
make
I will
sense
give
to
him
me.
argument. Give me just one book. If we go to the smallest library now, we will not find a book that people can memorize it. Just one. Only the Quran.
Memorizing
Only one.
book?
Yeah,
What is that proof?
Proof like we can read the Quran without looking what it says, and read it like perfectly.
Where are you from?
Algeria.
Oh, so Arabic is your mother language?
Yeah.
Mother tongue? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you be kind enough
Yeah.
and then tell me which Quran did you memorize? After
No,
that,
no. Listen.
After that, I
Listen.
want you to read
Okay,
this.
okay, but listen.
Wait.
But before this, one second, let me say. Listen. Before this, not everyone memorized the Quran, but there's a lot
Also,
of.
you haven't memorized.
I haven't yet, but I wish to. I wish, but a lot of people have memorized it. A lot, millions around the world, they memorize the Quran.
So,
I need proofs.
Which Quran?
Yeah.
Which Quran do people memorize?
The Quran, one book, the Quran. So there's
What
one,
do you mean one book?
there's one book, the Quran, everywhere. If you go to China, South Africa, you'll find one book. But if you go to Christian, Protestant has 66 books. Catholic, 73 books. Orthodox, 78 books. Differences, but Muslims have only one book.
So let me respond
It's
to
different.
that. Let me respond to that
Okay.
part. Can you be kind enough and then recite for me adult breast suckling verses of the Quran or point me out where it is in the Quran?
All right.
And then also.
But I have memorized some.
Wait,
Can I recite?
Wait.
All right.
Wait. Also, I want you to be kind enough.
Okay.
And then tell me. I've got 3 Qurans. I want you to tell me which one of them is correct. Let's start with the argument. First argument.
Why is it different between them? Tell me.
Yes, I'm going to tell you. But first, my first argument was, would you be kind enough and then recite adult breast suckling verses from the Quran for me? Or tell me where I can find it.
Huh? I didn't get you. Say again.
So, according to Umar,
To Omar.
the second caliph,
Okay.
father-in-law of Muhammad,
I'll leave that.
There are the verses.
Why are you going there?
Listen,
Why are you going
listen,
there?
listen.
I'm not a Muslim scholar.
Listen.
I give you a simple question.
Listen.
Answer my question.
Sir,
I'm not a
listen.
Muslim scholar. I'm not Shamsi or Muhammad
Listen.
Hijab.
They are not a scholar.
But they know better than me.
They are part-time strippers.
No, no,
And
no,
then
no.
also people who contribute the death of other people.
No, don't say
So,
that. They know better than me.
Can you please tell me where I can find
Yeah.
adult breast suckling verses in the Quran?
I didn't get it very well. As I told you.
Adult breast suckling. Go to the YouTube
Yeah.
or go to the Google.
I don't have data.
You have no data?
Yeah. Show it to me by yourself.
No, I am asking you to show it to me because I believe it is not in this Quran.
Why is this not the Quran? Why is it?
The God eat it.
Huh?
The God is too hungry and just eat it.
Are you telling me God eat the Quran?
Well,
Are you sure?
I did.
What?
He did.
What?
He was
What?
hungry. Was a bit
God.
hungry.
God.
God, not God.
Shit.
God.
Ah, shit. Yeah. Eat the Quran.
Eat the verses of the
Eat
Allah.
the verses of Allah. Oh,
He
really?
was hungry, man.
Give me proofs.
Okay.
Give me proofs. Yeah, give me proofs.
I love that.
Give me proof, children. You guys are waste,
No. true. No,
It's not true.
the thing that you just don't know your scripture.
I know my scriptures, bro. There's only one Quran. Everywhere if you go, one Quran, bro.
So between my legs right now, I am holding two different
Christian
Arabic
bro has
Qurans.
different books.
So
Don't compare it.
between my legs, I am holding two different Arabic
Protestant has
Qurans.
66 books. Catholic 73 books.
So what is
Orthodox
the point of
78 books.
What?
Yeah.
Speak now.
So what's
Speak
up?
now.
Yeah, sir.
Muslims have only one book which has 600 pages and 114 verses.
That's not true.
And people can memorize it. People like me and they can memorize it without reading, bro. Can you not see? This is a miracle, guys. People can memorize the Quran. I'm not a Muslim scholar. I don't know the Quran. I know my religion. I know what I'm saying.
I ask very simple question.
Yeah.
If you are able to recite adult breast
Recite
suckling,
what?
adult breast suckling verses for me, or if you are able to point out to me from the Quran
Aye,
where
madam.
are the adult breast suckling.
Listen to me.
This gentleman stepped in and then helped you out.
Help me
An
out.
animal-
Help me out.
animal
I just told what the God
came
did.
And then
God
if
did
the
Bro, you
Quranic
don't, bro, you're not
verses.
Islam. Bro, are you Muslim?
It doesn't
Let
matter.
them-
Are you Muslim?
Let me read
Do you know
it.
better than me?
No, no.
So,
Aisha
so,
said-
so now you say cheap eats Quran. Bro,
Aisha, mother of the believers, said, the verse of stoning and of breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed. And the paper was with me under my pillow. The messenger of Allah died. We were preoccupied with his death.
From where did you
and
get it? From
ten
where?
sheep
From Sunnah.
came
From where?
and
From Sunnah.
ate it.
From
Sunnah
Sunnah.
Ibn
Sunnah.
Majah,
Where is Sunnah?
1944 is the
Sunnah tells you.
reference.
Sunnah says you.
You
Give me
told
from the
me-
book, the Quran.
You
Give me-
told me there is
Okay, read it,
only
bro. You stop that.
there is only one
Sunnah tells you
Quran.
read it.
Why in that one
excuse me.
perfect Quran this verse is not there?
From where did you get
My
this
first
one?
verse.
From,
I
what-
already
from
told
where
you.
did you get it? From where?
Sunnah Ibn Majah.
So give me from the Quran.
For Quran,
It
the
is
God
not in
did
the
it. It's
Quran
eaten.
because it is in the tummy of the sheep.
They put it in the
Bird
belly.
of Allah is been eaten by
Alright,
the
can I
sheep.
ask you?
Don't touch me again.
Sorry,
That's
sorry,
first
sorry.
one.
But can I ask you
Second
again?
point was
Can I ask you?
regarding the Qurans, you expressed that wherever you go, there is only one Quran.
Yeah.
I want you to be
Only
kind
one
enough.
Quran.
I want you to be kind enough and then tell me which one of those Qurans is the only one Quran. You are from Algeria.
Algeria,
Can
yeah.
you be kind enough and then tell me why Algeria banned the Hafs Quran?
Band what?
Banned the Hafs Quran. Don't
Where
come
did
with
you
the
see
things
this?
I don't
Where
know.
did you see this?
On the
Give me
news.
proofs.
On the news.
On the news, you just talk bullshit. Give me some proofs. Huh? I didn't hear you. The media. Yeah, bro, they believe the media, but they don't believe us. Brainwash, bro. Believe me, I'm saying I'm Muslim. People can memorize the Quran.
Sorry.
That is a miracle. You need to understand that.
What kind of miracle is that? Recite
All right,
for me.
I will recite for you something.
Can I have two
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Come on.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah 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 is the Quran.
Can I have-
Don't say blah blah blah. Don't say
Can
blah
I
blah.
have-
Don't say blah blah
Can
blah.
I have-
Respect me
Blah, blah,
first.
blah.
I respect you. I respect your Bible. I respect
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course. I respect you. Yeah.
Can you read Surah 14, verse 46 for me?
I respect you. So don't say Quran is blah 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 because my Quran is my holy book. I believe it. It's from the God.
I don't know which one is your holy book.
And-
I don't know which
Aye,
one is
aye,
your holy
aye,
book.
one second.
You just respect. You don't say blah
I don't need to respect, sir. I don't need to respect. I don't need to
I
respect.
tell me which
I
part.
don't need to respect the book.
Do you respect Jesus as God?
No.
If you don't respect
He's a
Jesus as
prophet,
God,
bro. He
if you
can
don't
eat.
respect Jesus as God, my God, why should I respect your book?
What's
Why should I
You
respect
are
this book?
so
No, you talk about respect.
Yo, listen
No,
to me.
you don't respect.
Can God go to the toilet?
Doesn't matter.
Can God peace?
Do you
Can God
respect?
eat food like me and like you?
Well,
Go away, go away.
Yeah, go
I don't
away.
want to talk
You
to
talk
you.
about respect.
I don't want to
talk
talk to you.
about-
Bro, you believe something
You
which
just
is not
talking about
right.
respect.
You believe
If you want me
something
to
which
respect
is
your
not
Quran,
right. Alhamdulillah.
do you respect Jesus
Alhamdulillah
as
for
God?
Islam.
Do you respect Jesus as God?
Leave
You
him.
want to
bro.
respect?
He's a waste.
No. You
No, no.
compare
No.
the Quran with your belief.
I'm sorry. No. You say I should respect your book. I say to you, respect my God.
You have to respect my
Jesus.
book in front of me. No,
Oh,
I'm
in front
talking
of
about
you.
it.
You should respect Jesus as my God in front of me.
Go away. You don't.
Go away. No, if you don't respect, he is higher than the book. He is higher because he's in heaven. He's higher.
Because that's why you believe.
No, no.
Man
I'm
told you
sorry.
the answer.
I'm sorry.
Can
Even
God
Muslims believe Jesus in heaven, but you don't know what you believe. That's the problem. You Muslims believe Muhammad is in the dead.
Let me bring
In the
something
dead.
to
Jesus
your
is in heaven.
attention.
Huh?
Let me bring something to your attention.
Yeah. Do you believe that he's alive? What do you believe? Do you believe he's in heaven?
You say your business. What did you say about Muhammad?
I'm saying you believe that Jesus is in heaven alive, and you believe also that your prophet has died, isn't it? It's correct.
It's not your business. Whatever I believe about my prophet. Leave my prophet alone. If you say any word about my prophet, I send you special order, you know. I swear down my prophet, my life, you know. My life for my prophet, you know.
What kind of order is that? Did you pick that up? Muslims can mock and insult God of Christian scripture. But the moment you tell Muslims, oh, your prophet is dead,
Don't generalize
what you
at
get
all.
is
Don't generalize
death
at all.
threats. What you get is death threats. Beautiful pieces, ideology of pieces. Are you not ashamed that your prophet taught it was all right to climb the top of a child? Are you not ashamed that your prophet break down the marriages? Are you not ashamed that your prophet encourages FGM? Are you not ashamed that your prophet calls people because of their color code? Are you not ashamed? On Friday, people who follow your prophet went and then killed a novelist. Are you not ashamed of it?
They don't represent me.
Muhammad ordered killing of people because his feelings are being hurt.
Where's that? I'm asking you a question. Where is it?
What is it where?
What, the killing. Can you show me?
Do you know who is this man? You don't know? Which rock are you hiding behind? Okay, you don't know.
I don't know who it is. Tell me who it is.
You don't know.
Tell me who it is.
Look at his face, because his face is not going to be exactly the same from now on. Actually, since Friday. Why?
Are you asking me?
Why? Because he's been damaged by Muslims.
Okay, who is it?
Muslim who tried to kill him. Salman Rushdie.
Salman Rushdie.
So now he's my reference, sir.
Okay, he's your
I
reference.
made a claim that Muhammad encouraged people to go and kill other people because simply feelings of Muhammad is being hurt. Here's the reference for you, sir. Do you read Arabic?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you read it in Arabic for everyone, and then English is next to it?
Where is it? Where's it from? Where is it from?
This is Sunnah Abu Dawud, Hadith number 3000.
I don't accept that book.
You don't accept that book? Oh, bless your heart. Are you Shia? Wow. So you have a problem if your prophet orders someone to be killed.
Do I have a problem if my prophet orders someone to be killed?
Yeah.
It depends on the context.
What kind of context will make it okay?
If that person has killed someone unjustly, then he deserves to be killed. Yes. But if if his killing is not justified, then of course no.
Okay. Do you think is it justifiable? It is justifiable for someone to be killed.
Security people moving him from because Ayatollah done a bandi on his head.
Do you think is it justifiable someone to be killed because they don't want to be Muslim anymore?
So, got lifted back in the 2000s.
Of course not.
Now they brought the agenda back. Why? In the same way they created the Twin Towers to attack Iran, Iraq and Afghanistan.
I don't accept the book, so everything in that book to me means nothing.
Iran.
Sir,
So that book,
what book are you talking about?
that book that you just brought.
What book?
What do you mean what?
What book?
What book do I accept?
No, what book are you talking about?
The one that you just brought up. The
What is the name of that book?
Sunan Abu Dawud. Sunan Abu Dawud or something like that.
Sunan Abu Dawud is not by Salman Rushdie, sir. Are you sure you are Muslim? Sunan Abu Dawud is the biography of customs of Muhammad. It's a hadith.
You just asked me about Sunan Abu Dawud.
So that's a Sunni hadith.
Yeah.
So you reject the Sunnah Hadith. So therefore, I ask the question, what makes it all right for someone to be killed? You give me example, if it is in the war, if person killed someone, therefore, according to you, they should be killed.
Correct.
So I ask the question, should someone be killed because they decided they don't want to be Muslim anymore?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Is that yes or no? I am confused with the answer.
Also, there has to be context. If he doesn't want to be Muslim anymore, that's up to him. He's free to leave. But if he's not,
According to whom is free to leave a Muslim? According to whom?
he doesn't want to believe in the message anymore. That's it. That's his choice.
It's a choice. Where? In England or in Saudi Arabia? Where is that choice? In England, in London, is a choice for a Muslim to leave, or in Saudi Arabia?
If he's in this country and he wants to leave, he's free to leave.
Is this country? Yeah.
Okay, in this country it's okay. In Saudi Arabia, is it okay? In Muslim majority countries, is it okay?
Not always, because
Not always, okay? Tell me, what would justify the killing of apostasy?
Also in Saudi Arabia, there's many extremists.
That's not my question.
But I'm saying in Saudi
My question, that's my
second.
question again.
Okay, ask your question.
So I asked you the question, should apostate be killed? And then you said depend
don't
on
think
the
so, no.
circumstances.
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
Oh, you don't think? Okay, so according to you, no.
No.
What would you say to Caliph Ali, who burned the apostates?
Well, Caliph Ali, the fourth caliph.
Yeah, you said you are Shia. So he burned the apostates. What are you saying to him?
There must have been a reason behind it.
What kind of reason? You just said it is not okay to burn the apostates. It is not all right to kill apostates.
Firstly, can I get the reference for that? That's number one. And number two, that there must have been a context behind it.
What kind of context makes it all right to burn people?
No, I want to see the.
What kind of context makes it okay
Let me see
to
the
burn
evidence
the apostates?
Let me read it first, and I'll give you.
No, just tell me what kind of context will make it all right.
No, but I want to see the context first. I want to see the context. I mean, sorry. I want to see the reference before I can see if there's context.
What kind of context will make it all right?
Let me see the reference first.
Just tell me what kind of context makes it okay.
In my opinion,
The thing is, she made the statement, so provide the evidence.
Tell her the context for today or before.
no. I want to see.
What do you want to
happened
know?
first. I want to see what happened first.
You can't just make statements without evidence.
If you're talking about before, everybody were brutals at that time. Now it's a different story. Okay? Now it happens with airplanes. Boom, boom, boom. People get burned alive.
Someone who's divine. So
Okay, let's talk about that.
He can get the context from Allah straight away. He doesn't need context in front of him. And he doesn't need to give his reasoning.
Okay, give me an example of one of those contexts.
We can't say that until we see the evidence.
I just said if God tells him to do it,
We don't know if it actually happened.
God says, I just feel like you killing this person today. That's enough.
God is not going to say that. God is not going to say that.
Sorry, can you repeat that for me?
If God says, if Allah says, I feel today for you to kill this man.
It's not going to happen.
Oh, it's not
It's not going to happen.
That's what
Do you know
you're
what?
saying.
Shall I tell you what? No. I will tell you why it's not happening. I will. But he couldn't. And never happened. And never happened. That's why God gave him the sheep. That's why he gave him the sheep to sacrifice the sheep.
The question is,
Precise. Okay.
if Allah, if you hear a voice in your head that says, I am
Doesn't
Allah,
happen like this.
and I will tell
Doesn't
you to kill
happen.
someone, will you
That's
do
in
it?
your head.
We're not
That's in your head.
Christians. We're not Christians. We're not Christians.
I'm asking you, if God tells you to kill someone, if Allah tells
So
you
what
to
answer
kill
do you
someone,
want? What answer do you want from us? What answer do you want from us?
will you do it?
Okay?
Yes or no?
As a human, tell me, what do you do it? No, you guys, you still do it. You created ISIS for God's sake. You created ISIS. Okay, ISIS from you guys, from your ideology, from your hands, from your extremists. Okay? No, ISIS from you guys, from you guys. Okay?
One second. But you gave the example.
The Palestinians have been slaughtered. Why not?
You still don't answer. If Allah tells you to kill someone, will you do it?
We don't receive
Allah doesn't
revelation.
tell us that.
We don't
Yes or
receive
no?
revelation.
Say yes or
We
no.
don't receive revelation.
In that case, I know the answer.
We don't
because
receive
I know what you
revelation.
think.
No,
No,
we're
no.
human
You
beings.
don't
We
want to
don't.
say it because it's going to look terrible. to
No,
you.
No. We want you to say it because you will look terrible, my friends.
Will
You will look terrible.
If Allah says to you to kill
Okay?
One second, bro.
Only if you are dumb. Only if you are dumb.
One second, bro. One second.
Because that's what comes from your head. You're a sick mentality, people.
Normal human being. I don't receive revelations. That's number one. So God will not tell me to go kill this human being. I don't receive revelations. Someone who receives revelations, he will do that order no matter what. Because he's someone who receives revelation and he is sinless. He's made sinless, so he follows God's orders. The prophets, and I believe the prophets.
According to who?
Just give me 1 second. The prophets and for me the imams. As a Shia, I believe the imams are sinless. Yes.
Sahih Bukhari tells us.
I don't believe Sahih Bukhari.
Sahih Bukhari
I don't
tells
accept
us.
that book.
Ali burned the apostates.
He told you he doesn't believe in Sahih
Surah
Bukhari.
4.
Can we have the evidence?
Okay, give us another book, another source.
98. Surah 4 verse 98 of the Quran talks about apostates to be killed. Muslims express that Muslims believe Muhammad is sinless.
She's selling us for a book
According to
written by
Quran,
men.
Muhammad is not a sinless.
Where's the evidence for your burning of the
So
prostate?
you are
Can you show us?
sinless.
Can you
You
show
are
us the
sinless.
evidence?
Are you sinless?
Show us the evidence, please.
I am a sinner who needs
You are a
Savior,
sinner. You will
Lord
stay a
Jesus
sinner.
Christ.
Hatu.
And thanks
You
to
always
Lord
be a
Jesus
sinner.
Christ,
She was washed by the blood of
all
Jesus, but you.
sins away.
1 second.
She's already washed.
Sahih Bukhari,
One second.
260, sir.
Before you read it,
Sahih Bukhari,
just before you read it,
260.
just before you read it, I'm telling you, I don't accept that book. So for you to bring me evidence from a book that I don't accept,
I don't care.
it doesn't mean anything
Muslims
to me.
are disagreeing
That's like-
regarding the customs of Muhammad.
That's like
I
agree
don't
with you.
care.
That's like
so
one
here's
second,
the reference.
one second.
Ali burned some people, and this news
second, just
reached
one
the
second.
Ibn Abbas,
If
who
I-
said,
one
had I
second.
not been in this place, I would not burn them. As the Prophet said, don't punish anyone with Allah's punishment. No doubt, I would have killed them. For the Prophet said, if someone discards his religion, kill them. Sahih Bukhari 452, 260 is the reference. And the next reference is